This video is a review of sig figs to help us prepare for the test this week. All right, let's review our sig fig rules. So all non-zero digits count as significant. I think we understand that. All zeros between non-zero digits count as significant. Now these are the two that tend to give us a problem. We're saying that zeros to the left of the non-zero digits, we also call them leading zeros, they never, ever, ever, ever count as significant. Zeros to the right, however, will count only if there is a decimal point in the number. All right, now let's apply these sig fig rules. So this says state the number of significant digits in each measurement. Well, I have non-zero digits and I have 1 0 between, so there's 4. Over here, I have 3. Over here, I have 4, right? Now, in this number, I have some zeros to the left. They never count, so I'm left with 4 sig figs. Whenever you have numbers in scientific notation like we do here, you only look at the part of the number here. So in this case, I have 2 sig figs. In this case, I have 3 sig figs. Okay? Here, this is a 0 to the right. It does not count because there is no decimal. So this particular number has 2 sig figs. If it were written like this, that 0 would count and we would have 3. Okay, this has 2, right? This one, no decimal point, so there's only 2 sig figs. Here, I have a decimal point, so every single 0 to the right counts. So I have 4. Here, decimal point, every single 0 to the right counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here, no decimal point. The 0 to the right does not count, and I have 1 sig fig. Okay? Now, we're going to do some rounding because we sometimes have trouble with rounding, okay? So if I want to round this first row of numbers here to 4 sig figs, what I'm going to do is underline 4 sig figs. Then I look at that 5th digit. If it's 5 or greater, I round up. If it's 4 or lower, I don't round up. I leave it as it is. So this one is 3.682. Here I look at 4 digits. That's a 0. I don't round up. Here I look at 4 digits. This fifth digit is a 5. So I have to round that number right there up to 375.7. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 or lower, I don't round up. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5 or higher. I have to round this up to 46.47. Now this one says instead of to sig figs, let's round it to 1 decimal place. All right, so I'm going to underline to 1 decimal place. Look at the next number. It's 5 or higher. That goes to 1.4. 1 decimal place. Look at that. It's 5 or higher. It rounds up. 1 decimal place, I look at that, it's 5 or higher, I round up. Same thing here, look at this, 5 or higher, I round up. This, let me do this. 1 decimal place, look at this, it's 4 or lower, I don't round up. Right, now this one here, we're going to round to 2 significant figures. So I'm going to mark the 2 and look at this. Well, it's 4 or lower, so that's just 22. Here's 2 sig figs. I look at this. It's 4 or lower. Here. 2 sig figs, right? Zeros to the left never count. Look at this. So it's going to be 0.03. I'm going to round up. You can't get rid of these. They just don't count as significant. 2 sig figs. Look at this. Got to round it up to 3.5. 2 sig figs. Look at this. I got to round it up to 42. Okay, go back and try those yourself, all right? Next, let's look at our sig figs for calculations. When adding or subtracting, you look at the number of decimal place in the numbers you're adding or subtracting, and your answer should have the lower number of decimal points. When multiplying or dividing, you look at the total sig figs, and your answer should have a lower number of sig figs, right? Okay, let's look at this. I'm going to add these numbers together. So I have 3 decimal places, 1, 2, and 1. So my answer will have 1 decimal place, right? I'm going to grab my calculator in a minute. 1 decimal place, 2 decimal places, 0 decimal places. So this answer will have 0 decimal places, right? Subtracting 3 and 1. This answer will have 1 decimal place. 4 and 1. This answer will have 1 decimal place. 2, 3. This will have 2 decimal places, right? Now, when we add or subtract, instead we look at total sig figs, okay? Sorry, I should have had my calculator out when I started. So I'm going to put together number 1, go back to number 1, 6.201 plus 7.4 plus 0.68 plus 12.0. So my calculator answer is 26.281, and I want 1 decimal place. So I look at the 1 decimal place. That tells me to round up. So my number will be 26.3. See, each of these you have to take into account rounding. You have to be able to round properly. Okay, so I'm doing number 2. Here's my calculator answer. I'm going to have 0. So here's my calculator answer. And I said I need 0 decimal places in my answer, so it'll be 1203. Here, 8.264 minus 7.8. I need 1 decimal place in this answer. Watch this. The calculator answer is 0.464. So to have 1 decimal place, I have to look at this. Turns out I'm going to round up, aren't I? That will be my answer. This one, 10.4168 minus 6.0. We said 1 decimal place. Here's my calculator answer. Well, guess what? 1 decimal place is just 4.4. I don't have to round up. This will have 2 decimal places, right? This is my calculator answer, 12.00, or 27, excuse me. So 2 decimal places, looks like that. Okay, now, here we're multiplying and dividing, aren't we? This will be a divide. Here I have 3 sig figs, here I have 2 sig figs. So my answer should have 2 sig figs. So I'm going to first get my calculator answer that looks like this, 3.013. 2 sig figs, I don't have to round up, looks like that. Here, 5 sig figs, 4 sig figs. Here's my calculator answer, 35.73078. I should, in my answer, have 4 sig figs. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I do not have to round up. So this number remains 35.73. Okay, here, we're going to treat this as a division. I'm not sure why that colon ended up there. 3 sig figs, 3. So I will have 3 sig figs in my answer. So here's my answer from the calculator. All right, 1, 2, 3. Guess what? This 6 means I have to round up. So my 3 sig fig answer will look like that. Finally, look at this. 5 sig figs. Look at this. Because there's well, these are zeros between non-zeros. They all count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 sig figs. So our answer should have 5 sig figs. It will have the lower number of sig figs, right? 5 sig figs. Here's my calculator answer. 5 sig figs, I'm going to count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, this means I round up. So 5 sig figs look like this. 0, 7, 7, 1. I had to round that digit up. Alright, I hope this helped. Thank you.